Greetings, salutations, beautiful pixels. Welcome to the morning sailing the Maelstrom. That's right, I said morning, not evening. It is not a dark room, it is a light room, and it is not live, it's pre-recorded, and I'm not with the boys, I'm with the boy. How you doing today, Will, from Corrtex Games?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Lucian?
I cannot complain, because you are here for a very specific reason. We are talking about Synthwave Racers, your newest game that came out on August 10th from Corrtex Games. And let's go and take a quick look at that right now. That looks awesome. I've played it personally. Of course, just full context, you did give us a review key for it, so we did have an early look at it. So let's go ahead and discuss that right now. How did Synthwave Racers come to be?
Basically, it started as a Ludum Dare game jam, actually. And so, I don't know, if for your viewers that don't know what Ludum Dare is, it's like a game jam on hard mode. So you have 48 hours to complete a game, and you have to start from scratch. So like, the models and the programming and the audio and all that stuff is supposed to be done by you. So I made this little thing called the Deep Web, where it was a very prototypey version of Synthwave Racers.
Okay.
And once I finished it, it did decent on the scores for like the game jam, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna continue making this. And that's how Synthwave Racers started. It was a 48-hour game jam.
Okay.
From like 2.5, 3 years ago.
So from 48 hours from there, how long did it take you to make the finished project once you decided, I'm going to make this game full force?
Oh, man. I mean, if we're talking about just like the timeline, I finished it on August 10th. I literally stayed up all night. I was like finishing a few last minute things.
So from 2021 to August 10th.
Yeah, I mean, I had a job in the game industry at the time, and I was just working horribly long hours because I wanted to work on the game.
Okay.
My girlfriend is very patient, so I appreciate her patience with me finishing it up.
Trust me, we get that over here. So, budget. Did everything come out of pocket? Did you have investors?
Everything came out of pocket. So I started Corrtex Games with a $10,000 check out of my own savings, and that's all I ever put into it.
Wow.
So it's a very, very low budget, self-funded indie game.
Well, for very low budget, it does have a small AAA feel when it comes to the sound and the frame rate. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of lower end games, especially ones made by one or two people, small dev teams, they have frame rate drops, they have bugs, they have very low quality audio, but I was going at 80 frames a second. I was going with very high quality audio. Was that an obstacle for you to hit?
First of all, I just want to say, fuck yeah, I've succeeded.
Golf clap.
But yeah, so the audio, a bunch of the audio, I guess people can see, I'm a synthwave music producer. So a lot of the audio, like I've designed the sound audio myself as well. So something that is not known about me, even like some of my coworkers don't know this, but I have been making video games since I was like 12. Of course, what I mean by that is Pong and like really crappy stuff,
okay.
Right? Like no one makes a good game when they're 12, but it's something that I've wanted to do for my whole life, and I went to school for it. I got really interested in trying to do everything. Like people like Toby Fox inspire me. So I listened to it in college just all the time while I was working. And it got me really into synthwave. Like Truce is one of my favorite artists. The Kavinsky bass I really like, so some of my songs try to have a little bit of like the hard hitting basses in it. But yeah, I just love synthwave music. I love the 80s. I think retro games are something that inspire me as well. All the themes for the different courses and worlds are all like I was sort of making them on the fly a little bit. Like I thought, oh, a Miami Beach level seems very synthwavey. Like, that would be more different than something like just a city that you normally see. And there's a couple different city levels.
Oh yeah, I've played through
a few, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Of course, as a game reviewer and journalist, I have to play a lot of games. But in the few days I've had your game, I've already logged 6-7 hours into it. So I've seen a good chunk of it so far.
Nice.
Let's talk multiplayer. Let's talk online. How much work went into that outside of the campaign?
Yeah, so the multiplayer and the online has been a huge feat and a thorn in my side. It started out as kind of like a for fun thing that I didn't know if I was going to keep in the game.
Yeah.
Because at the time I was doing a lot of network programming for my game industry job, and so I kind of wanted to like build the entire infrastructure from the ground up using like no libraries.
Yeah.
It's more of like a learning experience for me and wanting to apply my knowledge that I had learned at my job to the test.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is built with no libraries. So what ended up happening here is months of pain of like little small problems that can occur when you build your own sockets and your own connections, and like disconnections. And what the internet in the wild, let's just put it this way, the internet in the wild is a dangerous, annoying beast to tame.
Hey, I have clicked on the wrong link before. I know how bad the internet can get.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, so a lot of hard work went into multiplayer. It was a big thorn in your side.
Yeah.
You hated it. Story mode, was that easier than multiplayer? Like, did that just flow naturally from it?
Yeah, it had its difficulties too, but I think it came to me a little bit easier, like programming it at least. Like, I think the main problem with the campaign mode was more of the level design. I've said it before, my background in the industry is a game programmer, and I have a lot of experience with like sound design.
Yep.
I'm not necessarily a level designer. I've played tons of games. I tried to take the Super Mario Bros. Approach a little bit, where the first couple levels are pretty easy, and it like gives you a bunch of room to play around with the mechanics. Like, I don't know if you played Super Monkey Ball. Like, the first level is literally straight every
Come on, my guy. How you gonna question my bona fides? How you gonna do me like that?
I'm sorry. But the first level in Synthwave Racers emulates the same thing. It's just a straight path. And believe it or not, actually, my goal with making the campaign was more so a Super Monkey Ball style thing. So the courses don't loop. It's all linear challenge levels.
Okay.
And you just hit this gigantic, like, I call it the Synthosphere. It's just this glowing, moving sphere. So you just try to get to the end. There's a lot of different power-ups, so you can like switch gravity. There's a time-stopping power-up that lets you freeze or like slow down time. There's a flight power-up. So there's a lot of these different power-ups. Figuring out how to introduce them and like the rate at which to introduce new mechanics is something that I actually played a lot of bros as I was making the levels, to kind of be like, how quick do they do it? Because Nintendo's known as a kind of a master in that regard.
True. Upcoming updates and support. Is the game a finished product, or is there so much more you want to tell through the game?
The game is definitely finished, actually. Corrtex Games, one of the things I wanted to build into my company is that we create finished games that are not early access, because I think that that's been lost recently.
True.
And I miss the days of the old games where you got a game and that was it. But I will continue to support it, and I've already had a minor patch. I'm fixing some other stuff.
Any thoughts on a Synthwave Racer 2?
Ooh, I mean, thoughts? Yeah, totally. There's some interesting things I'd like to play around with. I would love for this game to sell well first before I make a second one.
Okay.
But I have so many ideas. Let's just say that. I'm a very idea-heavy person. And
is one of them perhaps a fat, bearded man with glasses who helps challenge the racer? Perhaps his name is Lucian? Perhaps his faction's the Maelstrom Hold? No? Okay.
You know what? You read my mind. That's exactly what I've been planning on. Before I even met you, actually.
Were there projects you wanted to work on before Synthwave Racers?
Yes. In fact, there are projects that I did work on before Synthwave Racers. There's too many to count. I have a personal website that's unaffiliated with Corrtex Games that has some of my college projects and high school projects on it that I worked on. But one of them was a platforming game called RGB, where you switch between a red, a green, and a blue guy. One of them breathes fire, one of them has a leaf boomerang, and the other one breathes water. And it's like a Banjo-Kazooie kind of thing where you solve puzzles with the elements.
This is my favorite question. Any projects you work on that you regretted?
Oh, man. No. There's not a single project I've worked on that I've regretted, and I would like to say that that will hold true for the rest of my life, because when you work on a project, even if you don't end up liking the final product, it is constantly getting you forward and progressing you as a developer to getting to the place that you need to be to make the next project. So my answer is definitely a no there.
Well, I can honestly say after playing the game, it may not be everyone's cup of tea, whether you like it or hate it. No one can argue that it's not a well-made product. You know?
Thank you.
I
spent a long time making sure that that was the case, so I really appreciate that.
Would you consider game developing a career that you want to push forward in the future, or just a plain hobby?
Oh, it is for sure a career. I mean, I rejected a job offer from a different game company. Actually, I've rejected 2 job offers since I got laid off, because I want to finish this game and I want to see if I can make this my career, like indie games, not just being a programmer at another company.
Yeah. Do you have to answer to anyone creatively? Do you have to answer to Steam when you upload games, or is there a company above Corrtex? Or do you do everything in-house and fuck the rules?
Everything in-house, fuck the rules. It is all me. I am the developer, I'm the producer, I'm the creative guy.
I'm an executioner. But are you also your biggest critic?
Yeah. Oh, by far. I think that I actually have obsessive compulsive disorder. Not like, oh, I want stuff to be clean, but like the actual OCD. I go to therapy for it. And being my harshest critic is something that I've been working on in therapy for a long time. And it comes out in games, and it's a weird one because you can kind of argue that it is helpful for the game because I hate bugs and I like squash as many as I can. But
if you can work on any game franchise, no holds bars, no one telling you what to do, make a game for any game franchise, what would it be?
The 3D Mario platformers.
Like we're talking like Nintendo 64, or we're talking like 3D World?
We're talking like the open world one, so Mario 64, Mario Sunshine,
or
Mario
Galaxy.
Odyssey.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean Mario Galaxy would be cool too. I think I characterize Mario Galaxy as more of a linear. It's not quite the same as 3D World, but you know, there's not as much like freedom. I like the freedom part, and I think that that would be the ultimate game for me to work on.
Would you rather stay in the indie crowd making smaller titles, or would you rather like pioneer a AAA game?
No, I would like to continue making smaller indie games. I don't ever foresee myself. It's not a dream of mine to have a big company. It's a dream of mine to have a smaller studio where I can actually go into work. I think having a place to work that's like mine is a dream.
Let's talk community. Has the gaming community influenced your work either on Synthwave Racers or anything before?
Yeah, well, I actually have a really small community, but they seem to be really active, and it's bringing me so much joy. I made them a high score bot, and I've already made a little bit of adjustments, and one of my future patches has to do with feedback from the people that are really interested in the speedrunning side.
Do you ever play games with your community?
I have not yet. I've been too busy either sleeping since releasing the game or making patches and stuff, but that's something that I would love to do. I'm planning on having a way to do that, so.
As of recording this video is probably hoping this video will go live on Twitch, preferably if I can do my fortune telling ability, August 20th, which is next Sunday from when we're recording, but hopefully it is right now. As people watching, I'd like to openly challenge you to your own game.
Oh shit! Okay. What are we talking multiplayer online, or are we talking?
No, we're gonna play Minesweeper. I'm gonna play Minesweeper, and then you gotta beat my time. Of course, we're talking multiplayer.
No, like asynchronous multiplayer or real time. Like, are you talking about how fast that we can complete the course?
We are going to get into a. You choose. Live on my Twitch channel. I'm putting you out there.
Okay.
Do you accept?
All right, bring it on. I accept.
Okay. All right. Is there anything you would change about the community? Make them larger, make them less critical, anything you would change?
I love my community. I would love to get more people like them, honestly. There's a couple of them have just been, they've made me cry. Like, they don't know they made me cry, but when the game had come out, it's been selling all right, but not really as much as I had hoped. Just some of the really nice things they've said. They seem to really like the game, and that's what means the most to me out of everything. So,
has there been more positive or negative feedback in your game?
Actually, positive feedback, 100%. It's been really nice. I think it's just not quite like enough people aren't either seeing it or buying it. So it's more of the amount of people, but the people that have played it and bought it seem to really enjoy it, and that's something that I will absolutely take 100 times over. I think I'd rather have that than the Overwatch 2 case where a bunch of people play it and it gets shit on.
All right, and my favorite part of the interview, are you ready?
Yes.
These are rapid fire questions from the community. You get 5 seconds to answer each question, fast as possible. If you do not answer, I will answer for you. And if you do not like my answer, sorry, it's on the internet. You know, if it's on the internet, it's got to be true.
Okay.
All right. Questions from the community. Favorite game console?
Nintendo 64.
Why?
Because I grew up with it.
Okay. Hot dog tacos or fish pizza?
Oh god, hot dog tacos.
Okay. You gotta make love to a mermaid. Alright. Would you prefer top half fish, bottom half human, or bottom half fish, top half human?
Bottom half fish, top half human.
You have to punch one video game character in the face, but in return he gets to punch you back. Who you punch?
Yoshi.
Yoshi!
Look, that's a satisfying punch, and I don't think he's gonna do it that
He's gonna deck you with his fucking tongue, and you're gonna wake up 3 days later in an alley. You gotta spend 1 year in a video game? Your choice.
Animal Crossing, New Horizons.
Okay, let's take that back. You gotta spend 1 year in an R-rated video game. Which one are you taking?
Halo 3.
Oh, okay. If you would have said Halo Reach, I would have questioned your mental stability, but okay.
No, I know. We all know what happens in Reach.
You have to have intercourse with a woman. Would you rather her look normal but talk like Jar Jar Binks, or talk normal or look like Jar Jar Binks?
I hate you. Definitely look normal. I can't have sex with Jar Jar Binks. I'm sorry. It's not happening.